Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, it's EmTV live. I'm going live if you're watching on the replay. It's not live, it's a replay if you're watching on IGTV. It's a replay of the live, which is happening now. I hope you guys are all having an awesome 2020 so far. I hope that it's starting off to be incredible for you. Two of the things that are really contributing to my overall success, my fulfillment, my joy, my happiness, and my belief and commitment right now are grace and appreciation. So when you are feeling like lost, when I'm feeling lost, when you are feeling like there's so much to do, there's so much that you want to take on, there's so much that you want to accomplish, my invitation is for you to invite grace into your life. Invite appreciation to wash over your being. Grace and appreciation are just so powerful when we be them, not just when we think about them, when we actually embody what those things are. Those are helping me kick my year off to a really good start. So far, so good. And today I kind of came on because what I want to talk about is culture. I want to talk about culture, not just from a meta view, from a societal perspective. I want to talk about it from an individual perspective as well. So culture exists in two places and two places only. And this is really profound if you can wrap your head around it. Culture exists only in speaking and in listening. The only way that we experience and create culture is through speaking and listening. And a byproduct of speaking and listening is how we observe the culture around us. So perhaps our visual, through our senses. But really, when you think about it, culture exists in how we speak and in how we listen. And if you wrap your head around those two things, you'll notice that that's why it can be so easy and so hard to influence culture. Because culture only exists in how we speak and in how we listen. And a lot of times people are, when they can wrap their head around this, they're not as focused on how they listen as they are on how they speak. And both are equally important. How we talk and how we listen is what creates culture in our lives and in society. So then it got me thinking a little bit deeper around, okay, what does it mean to have an individual culture, right? We all exist within culture. Culture exists within society. There's also subcultures within society. There's subcultures within our overall culture. I'm Canadian, and for those of you that are Canadian, you'll know, and even in the States too, you have the overarching culture of what Canada is like, for example, right? And then within Canada, there are so many subcultures. Newfoundland has its, and the East Coast, Nova Scotia, they have their very distinct East Coast culture. They're super friendly, they're really neighborly inclined. They're happy-go-lucky. My dad's an East Coaster, so I know a little bit about what that culture is like. And then you look at the prairies, right? The prairies has a much different culture. Hockey culture in Canada is very prevalent. Oil and gas culture is really prevalent in Alberta. And then maybe you move to the West Coast, and the West Coast has a different kind of culture. The West Coast is a lot more laid back. We're very outdoor focused. We appreciate nature and the ocean, and all of that comes with that lifestyle. And of course, I'm talking general terms here. I can't speak for everybody, but this is what I'm talking about, is an overarching culture. So then it was really interesting for me to think about and to support you guys to look at, what is your individual self-culture like? How does it exist? We know it exists through speaking and through listening. Hi, Chrissy. I just noticed your comment. This is what Chrissy needs to hear. I love it. This one's for you, Chrissy. So you get to decide, what do you want your own individual culture to be like? And how you do that is by paying attention to, how do you speak to yourself and how do you listen to yourself? I started doing something really interesting the last couple days, is around the areas in my life, and I'll let you guys know how it goes, because again, I've just started doing this, but man, did I have an emotional release last night. I started talking to myself out loud about some of the things that I'm struggling with in my life. So I literally sat on my couch, I was by myself, and I invited that grace and that appreciation in, and I literally talked to myself out loud. And you're doing the very best that you can. You know, I won't get into like too much details because that's probably a different video, but practice talking to yourself out loud, whether it's in the third person or whether it's having a conversation with yourself. You are not crazy. It is proven that people that have higher IQs actually talk to themselves. So just know that, Vergs, what's up? Just know that if you want, if you need a little encouragement, it's totally okay to talk to yourself out loud. People with higher IQs do it. You know, it's like you're shooting for the Mensa. So what you want to do is, or what I find is really helpful, you can do it if you want, you don't have to, is literally talk to yourself out loud. What are some of the things that you're struggling with? And if you were talking to your best friend, how would you communicate to them? What would you say about some of the things that they're going through? How would you support them? And out of doing this is how you get to create your own individual culture. What do you want to stand for? What do you want to represent? How you create and cultivate that is by paying attention to, how do you listen to yourself and how do you speak to yourself? Again, culture exists in two places, in speaking and in listening. So if you want to change the culture of an environment that you're in, whether it's a work environment, your personal environment, your relationship environment, how you are in relationship with yourself, start paying attention to two things. How do you speak to yourself and how do you listen to yourself? Hey, Kimberly, how are you speaking to yourself? Can you have grace? Let me get into that a little bit more, because sometimes I think we throw this word grace around and people don't have an understanding of what that means. Grace means remembering the intent of your heart. Grace means allowing space around a situation. Grace means being willing to slow down. Grace means practicing forgiveness and acceptance. All of these things is what it means to bring grace into your life. You have enough time. You are on the right track. You are right where you're meant to be. And appreciation is so powerful because it puts us in the frequency of being grateful for what we have. It puts us in the frequency and the energy of like, this is enough. I am enough. This is okay as it is. So what does your individual culture look like right now? Because it's your individual culture that is going to have an impact on what you create in your life, what's going on in the world around you, and either help you determine that you're going to create the results that you want or not. So how does your individual culture exist? It exists in your speaking and your listening. So how are you speaking to yourself? How are you listening to yourself? And what would it look like if you wanted to start to change that a little bit? So I'm going to be here so much more this year, guys. I'm excited to be more engaged and to keep creating content and contributing to my audience. And hopefully, if you like this video, you can share it, you can tag people. I would really love support in allowing my audience to grow. 2020 is just another year for all of us to continue to cultivate the being that we want to be, the person that we want to be in the world. 2020, this time of year, is just such an opportunity for us to be in creation, in cultivation, in curation. And I really support you to never give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on those dreams. You know, with the right support, with the right mindset, with the right skill set, you can accomplish those things. And if you don't have that stuff in place, you can create it. You can change your mindset. You can grow your skill set. You can cultivate your world, the world around you. And of course, if you want to know how to do that in more detail, I would be happy to have a conversation with you. You know, for those of you guys that don't know, in my coaching practice, I provide one-on-one support. I'm leading a 2-day workshop in 3 weeks from now here in Victoria. And yes, Kimberly, we absolutely can have a conversation, and I will message you after this video. And then I also have a mastermind starting up in March, in addition to my one-to-one coaching clients. So if any of that interests you, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here with open arms and an open heart, and, you know, over 6 years of professionally coaching experience underneath my belt. And I'm ready to light it up this year, and I hope that you are too. And wherever you're at, I just wish you lots of grace, inviting lots of grace in your life, meeting yourself where you're at, practicing profound acceptance with who you are and what's going on in the world, and what's going on in your world. And I will be back really soon. I love you. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. And that's all I got for you for now. So love and hugs and kisses and beautiful 2020 to all of you guys. And I'll see you soon. Lots of love and bye for now. Ciao Insta. Bye-bye Facebook. Peace out.